Welcome back, me shipmates. UK Video Game Pirate bringing you episode 6 of me recent game pickups. Most of them in the seas of cyberspace, but I've also made a trip to Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton, CEX in Eastbourne and a few other places. So I'd just like to start off by saying a massive thank you to Retro Bear Russ for his reach and shout out in one of his videos. I really appreciate it. Gained some great new crew members. Welcome to the crew, people. I very much appreciate it. And I will just say before I start these pickups that I have been forced to buy a Super Nintendo game out of my will because I've been easily persuaded by other people buying bloody Nintendo games. Deary me, I just had to get out of my chest. I've been influenced very much. So, as saying that, I'll start off with the one Super Nintendo pickup. And that is Dr. Franken on the Super Nintendo. Here we go. Get a look at that. So, this is my one and only Super Nintendo pickup for the month. And it's hopefully it will be the last one for a while because I'm supposed to be making my main focus Sega with a bit of PlayStation 2 and original Xbox on the side. So as I said, I'm concentrating Dreamcast as holding these games alone gives me bad anxiety. I'll start off with the first one. As I said, I don't know too much about this generation, and that is Vigilante 8. There we go. There's the first one. I can get this one actually onto the shelf now, so you can get rid of that. And the next one, as I said, I haven't actually played any of these games before, and that is Silent Scope. I'm not sure if this is one of the 3 light gun games that came out over here on the Dreamcast. I'm not too sure. Bear with me, I'll just put that one back on the shelf. Next one, following on with the Dreamcast focus at the moment, we've got Headhunter. As I said, I was mainly on the piss, stuff like that during this generation. So I didn't really, this is probably the generation I'm least clued up on because that was when I came of age, as I've said before. Next one, this was in Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton, and that is Sega GT. So, as I said, not know too much about these games. It's really isn't the generation for me in terms of knowledge. I'm trying to gain my knowledge of this generation at the moment. But the next one, and I think a piece is going to fall off here, but maybe not, and that is Millennium Soldier. As I said, not played these games before, but finding out the good ones, the ones I'll like through knowledge obviously, seeing what the game's like, seeing if you like it, is it a good game? It all has to come into that category if it's going into my collection. And lastly, probably the most expensive Dreamcast game I got this month, and this was from Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton, and that is Sonic Adventure 2. There's a nice plastic thing around it. So that is Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. Not the best Sonic games, like in people's opinion in general. So, but that's all the Dreamcast games done. Now let's carry on with Sega. We're still with Saturn. I've got 4 Saturn games. That's what I was about to say, Dreamcast games. Saturn games here. So we'll start off with the first one, which I'm not sure if I actually showed last month. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to show it again anyway, and that is Virtual Cop 2. That's the first one. Next one, again from Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton. All of these were from Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton. Street Fighter Alpha 2. It's a bit of Aladdin's Den, it seems like, when you go in that. Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton. There's boxes on top of other boxes. You have to move over and to see what's in the next box. Really is like Aladdin's cave. You have to put your own work in to search for stuff. But the next one, again, all these Saturn games. Sonic Jam, which is basically a collection of the old Mega Drive games that are out. And lastly, I owned a better version of this, but the original Daytona USA. Obviously it's known it wasn't the best port. I think this one's supposed to have better graphics, but the one after it had better gameplay. So that's the Saturn stuff done. So let's move on to the Xbox, original Xbox. I think I've got 12 games here to show you. I think it's about 12. And I've got all of these, I think, from a place called Phonetastic near the town where I live. It basically sells phones, second-hand phones, laptops, all sorts of that, and it also has loads of games in there. So it's quite a good place to look because not many people would know this place sell games. But the first one, Enter the Matrix. This is actually a game I did play back in the day, and I actually enjoyed it, even though it gets a bad rep. I'm not sure if that's just me being very tolerant of bad games in general, but this is obviously, I wouldn't think anyone would see this as a bad game, and that is Project Gotham Racing 2. Here we go. So that's the second one. Thirdly, still got the Magic Whistle Gaming sticker on here, Batman Begins. So got that for you. Right, on to the next one. Game I don't know too much about, so take it as a survival horror. Looks like it, and that's called Cold Fear. Let's show you that. Here we go. Right, next one. And this is a game I would like on another system, but this is a reversion of it. The Punisher. Did this come out on the Mega Drive or something like that, or the Super Nintendo? And it's a very pricey game. I think you'd let me know in the comments. But there's Punisher. Next, we got Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. I'm not the biggest racing game fan, even though I was back in the mid-90s. It was pretty much, it's weird how my gaming taste changed, because I was very much into Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I love my 2D beat 'em ups. I love Sega Rally. I love Dotemu USA. My taste totally changed when I got older. Start playing totally different games. I don't know whether the same happened to you. Perhaps you'll let me know. But next, Thief Deadly Shadows. That's the next one. I think these were from that Phonetastic in the town where I live. Next, Shell Shock. Nam 67. So it must be a Vietnam game. So there's that. And next, for all you 007 lovers out there, James Bond Nightfire. 007. Probably one of Pierce Brosnan, probably one of my more favourite James Bonds, I would think. And next, the sequel to that Matrix game that came out, and that is Matrix Path of Neo. I haven't played this one, I played the original. Can't imagine it's that good though, but we'll soon find out. Next, I own the first one, and next, this is CX Pickup, The Suffering. This is the second one, I think, in the series. That's The Suffering. Next, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And I believe that was from Phonetastic in the town where I lived as well. So that's all the original Xbox games. So now I think we'll show a bit of PlayStation 2, shall we? So if I get that from down here, I don't know where the other Blu-ray's gone, but okay. So right, we'll start with some PS2 games here. I think this one obviously got in CEX, and that is Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. I believe it is anyway, yeah. There we go, there's that one. Next, I believe I do own the first one of this on the PlayStation. Well, it only came out on the PlayStation, I believe, and that is Maximo Army of Zin. As I said, I think I own the first one, and yeah, this is with some Magic Whistle Gaming pickup in Brighton. So there's Maximo Army of Zin. Where are they? Here we go. And next one, Resident Evil Outbreak. I'm not sure. I think it's Dead Aim, the one that's the light gun shooter. As I said, I'm not too clued up on this generation at all. So that was some Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton. Next one, the game that got remastered on the PS4, great graphical style, RPG, side-scrolling slasher. I do know about this game, and that is Odin Sphere. Again, from Magic Whistle Gaming in Brighton, and that's Odin Sphere. And lastly, from CEX. I'm not sure if this came out on the original Xbox, I'd have to check, but I'm sure it came out on the GameCube, but I saw it cheap and I thought, sod it, I don't own it, and that is Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake Eater. So that's all the PlayStation games for you. Right, I believe that must be all the games. So what I'm going to show you now is quickly the two Blu-rays, sorry, not DVDs. I don't buy DVDs. And the first one, a movie that came out recently, Halloween Kills. Obviously, I like my horror. A lot of people gave it some bad rap. I didn't think it was too bad, you know. I always get, I don't know, it takes a lot for me to hate something in general. When you've had so much bad stuff happen to you in your life, you seem to put things into perspective, to tell the truth. And the next movie I've got, obviously, just came out. I'm not going to put any spoilers, but what an ending. That got the nostalgia going, didn't it? What an ending. I'm not sure how much is in the actual movie compared to the Blu-ray, because I know they do add cutted scenes and that, but I really and truthfully would love to see the original cast without Harold Ramis, of course, because they seem to have the fourth Ghostbuster be Rick Moranis. He played at the end of the second one, he's already in his Ghostbusters outfit, he's saying, I'm a Ghostbuster, I'm a Ghostbuster. So now Egon's gone, make him the Ghostbuster. There's the fourth person for the original movies. Just an idea. And lastly, I'm now, for these people who like seeing your wrestling figures, like so do I, I'm really into these elite wrestling figures of these classic wrestlers from back in the day I love so much. So firstly, a great wrestling figure here, and it's Heel Jake the Snake. As you can see, he's got that nasty King Cobra with him, the bit Macho Man, if anyone remembers back in the day. I love these. As much as I love the old Hasbros, they don't look as good as this. I would have loved wrestling figures like this when I was a kid, but I'm not sure my parents were willing to pay the prices they cost though, because them Hasbros were only £5 each, weren't they? So it wasn't too expensive going there every weekend to buy me new ones, was it? So next one, we've got a hairdresser here, and that is Bruce the Barber Beefcake. As you can see, look at the detail on these, it's so good. Absolutely brilliant. As I said, the only figures I'll be getting in wrestling will be from the late 80s and the 90s. I'm really not interested in anything else like that. Even though I still do watch wrestling, I don't really have favourites anymore, because it's really hard for me to have a favourite these days. But if I was going to say who my real favourite was, it would probably be CM Punk. But now let's move on to wrestling figures. The next one, a fat bastard right here, and that is Earthquake in his Canadian form. As you might remember if you played WrestleFest, the arcade game, this, I believe, was the costume he was wearing there in that game. So that's my first fat bastard, and that's Earthquake. And then on to another fat bastard. And this time, someone pretending to be Japanese when he's really Samoan. And that is Yokozuna. I think that's his original attire there. But look at him, fucking hell, jeez. Anyway, that's Yokozuna. And then the last one, not as fat as the other two, but definitely a fat bastard. Will make you serve hard time if you told him that though, if he was still alive saying that. But that is the Big Boss Man. Honestly, I just love how detailed these figures were. They're coming out of the box as soon as this video's over. They're going on to the shelves, and I really can't wait to get them on my shelves. I've been piling up, waiting to do these pickups, waiting for everything to come through. I'm sure now I've actually shown you everything. I'm sure I have. Yes, I believe that is it. So everyone, me shipmates, thank you for watching, and I hope you join me again next time. Goodbye from me for now.